Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 8:15. Today's date is Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. And this is the meeting of the mayor and council of the town of Forest Heights, Maryland. It will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hines,
Present.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Here.
Councilmember Brownson,
Here.
Councilmember Little, Councilmember McDonald.
Here.
I'm just going to call one more time for Councilmember Little. I can't see the screen.
She won't be attending tonight.
Okay, thank you. Council President Noble,
Here.
Mayor Lilly.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we will have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Next, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. We ask that everyone who's able will join us in standing at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, the meeting minutes from July 6, 2026 were distributed in advance. Are there any changes or corrections to the meeting minutes from July 6? Councilmember Brownson, you're smiling.
Okay, I looked at these online, so I hope they haven't changed since I made my comments. But
Well, that sounds like a good question. Were there any changes since then?
okay. So what I noted was that on number 3, the main agenda, it says approve of the main agenda and no vote taken. I think we've approved the main agenda in our procedure, don't we?
We do.
Okay, so that's on there. And then the motion by Troy Lilly and second by Nunn. I don't think that's the right words. I'm sorry.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Well, we typically will vote to approve the main agenda, but during that particular meeting, we kind of went past it. And so I went back and I watched the video and confirmed we didn't actually take the vote. So what is a true mistake is saying that it was motioned by Mayor Lilly. There was no vote at all.
Or motion.
I couldn't say for sure. I know we did not take an official vote. And so I placed the note. And
So what we're doing is not following procedure. Okay, and then down on procedure Ward 1, you have Councilmember Teresa McDonald.
Okay, that's a correction. It should be Councilmember Jamila McDonald.
No, it should be Teresa Brownson.
Under Ward
Ward
2?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then another question I have about the minutes, since we get into holidays, we're going to be on break during August. It's a good time, I think, to think about the minutes and how they should be and some of the common mistakes maybe can, be looked at a little more closely. I don't know who's approving the minutes, but my question is when it says council suggestion, and I don't know who you're referring to when you say council. Did an individual suggest something? So shouldn't there be a name? And I see that a lot of times throughout the minutes. So I think that needs to be clarified. Inquiry regarding, and the same thing about the inquiry regarding the budget book. I know 2 council people did, but who inquired about it? So I think the minutes should be a little more exact and detailed, specific and corrected.
Thank you. If there are no further changes or corrections, the minutes for July 6th are approved
Done.
with the edits. All right, next we have approval of the main agenda, an item it seems like we missed last meeting. I move that we approve tonight's main agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's main agenda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, our agenda is adopted. We have a series of proclamations this evening. First up is the Parks and Recreation Month proclamation. I'm going to forego reading this one. We've had a lot of discussion tonight. I move that we adopt the Parks and Recreation Month proclamation.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt tonight's Parks and Recreation Month proclamation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it. The proclamation is adopted. All right, next we have the National Night Out proclamation. Council President Noble.
Yes, the proclamation states that Wednesday, August 5th as National Night Out, but National Night Out is the first Tuesday in August. So are we celebrating it different than the national date?
Well, it sounds like we may need a correction. Let's see what's on this copy here. Okay. So it would be Tuesday, August 4th. Would you like to offer an amendment, Council President?
Yes. I would like to amend the proclamation for National Night Out to reflect the date change from Wednesday, August 5th to Tuesday, August 4th.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is your mic on, Councilmember, so she can hear on the recording?
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we amend the proclamation for National Night Out, changing the date, or correcting the date rather, to Tuesday, August the 4th. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Yes. We could.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't need to, we don't vote on these.
However, so we have the amendment approved, and now I move that we approve the proclamation for National Night Out as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National Night Out as amended. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none.
My point is that we.
Do you oppose the,
Yes, I do.
okay,
Yeah, I do, because we don't have to vote on this. This is not a thing we vote on. And there's no signature for votes.
okay. All right, the proclamation for National Night Out is approved as amended. Next, we have the Forest Heights Day Proclamation. I move that we adopt the Forest Heights Day Proclamation.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the Forest Heights Day Proclamation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Aye.
There's one opposed.
Mhm.
Okay. The Forest Heights Day Proclamation is adopted. We'll read this one in full at the actual Forest Heights Day activity.
Can you just remind everybody the date, please?
It's in my presentation tonight. It's August 15th, a month from today. All right, next on our agenda, we have a presentation from Greenwell Consulting, our lobbies for the town. We have Mr. Jonathan Carpenter and Ms. Leslie Felice. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Good evening. Jonathan Carpenter, Greenwell Consulting Group, Leslie Felice. We wanted to have a conversation tonight about priorities. We said we'd be back.
Mr. Carpenter, is that mic green? Is it up close
It
to
is
your mouth?
green. It is green. Maybe I'll pull it up.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Wanted to have a conversation about priorities this evening for the next upcoming session. It is that time of year, believe it or not. They go down to Mako next month. And I always say, once they have Mako, the Maryland Association of Counties, the session begins right after Mako. So we wanted to review some of the items that we feel are out there that we think are priorities. We'll get feedback from you. We still expect to hear different things coming, anything that you want us to have as priorities. But one of the things we know is to bring back the speed cameras bill on 210 to add the additional cameras. We look to get that bill pre-filed this year, so we're not behind the 8 ball or anything. We want to get out in front of everything, so we will look to have the delegation as a whole, the state delegation members, to support that and sign on that legislation to get that bill pre-filed. Another piece of legislation or funding we know for a fact is the Boys and Girls Club. We've identified, think that we can get additional funds through the county. We are reaching out to Councilman Barrows and others for their support in bringing additional funding for the Boys and Girls Club project to get funding from the county. So we will be working on that, and we will keep you updated on the progress of those meetings and that request. One of the other things we talked about is going to congressional representation this year and trying to get funding for flood mitigation and any funds for curb repair. So we will be reaching out to our congressional representatives to try and find federal earmarks of funding for flood mitigation to help out here in the town. So those are, go ahead.
And also some street repair possible.
And street, absolutely, absolutely. Mitigation, flood mitigation and street repair. We know those are 3 big priorities, and we will keep you updated moving forward from this point on our steps to try to get those funds and get responses from those delegation and congressional members.
Any questions for Greenwell this evening? Council President.
Is there something happening in August in Annapolis? Thank you.
So August 3rd through the 5th, the Maryland General Assembly will be returning for a special session. The priority will be to discuss congressional redistricting and whether or not to put it on referendum for the November ballot. So we'll definitely be keeping track of that and sending out any updates. But if you do want to let us know of how you feel about that subject matter, if there's a stance that the town has on it, we're more than happy to have that conversation.
Well, if there are no further questions, thank you for coming and presenting tonight, and we're looking forward to a successful session next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have a presentation by Technical Services Plus. I believe they are joining us online tonight.
Yeah, is this the GFT presentation? And let me just pop open my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi. And my
Could you tell us your
co-presenter.
name?
Oh, go ahead.
Could you tell us your name?
Yeah, I'm Matt Viverito. I was going to do some introductions here real quick, but Dave, my co-presenter, is going to share his screen with our presentation, if that's okay. Can you guys see that? Yep. Okay.
Just one moment. We want to adjust the volume. Can we turn this volume down a little bit? The speaker inside the auditorium.
I've been told I have a loud voice.
It's
Well,
sure.
it may be you. Maybe our mic, the audio system in here has got you turned up quite a bit.
I'm currently showing that the host has disabled my screen for sharing, so pass that along.
All right, test the audio now, Mr. Vivero.
Viverito. Yes. Hey, can you hear me okay? Am I too loud?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. Is Dave able to share his screen? I think he needs permission. Yep. Okay. Great. All right, well, that's coming up. All right. All right. Well, thanks for letting us participate today and share some of our services that we provide here at GFT and how we can help enable really GIS, your geographic information system, applications to improve, workflows across your entire organization. I am Matt Viverito. I'm the Deputy Director here at GFT of Technical Solutions. I have 25 plus years in the GIS industry, spanning from working at engineering firms to drone companies. Spent some of my time at the City of Falls Church in Northern Virginia as their GIS manager. And then a company that you're going to hear a lot today that we're going to discuss is Esri. I spent about 6 years there working with state and local governments across the Mid-Atlantic, enabling them to use Esri software. And what you'll hear terms is Esri, ArcGIS, ArcGIS Online, but that's all Esri. And they're kind of the gold standard of the GIS software industry. I kind of compare them to the Microsoft of software. And then we have Dave Gilbert with us. He's going to be doing the majority of the presentation. He's got 39 plus years working with state and local governments, and he's going to spend a lot of his time showing you some real world examples that he's worked with specifically in state and local governments and give you some information on that. A real quick high level agenda. I'm going to go through an overview of who GFT is, what geographic information systems are, and then I will be passing it on to Dave, who's going to jump into the Esri ArcGIS Online platform, and then dive into some of the solutions that they have available that we can help your town enable quickly to achieve some of the functionality or results that you guys want to accomplish across your organization. All right, so GFT is a full service engineering firm. We've been in the industry for 150 plus or 110 plus years. So we've been in the industry for a long time. Our main business is to support organizations across the transportation, water, buildings and places, power, and construction. You can see in those those bullets, all those little subcategories that we also represent. Dave and I work directly in the Geospatial and Technology Solutions group. So we support a lot of the engineering tasks in those 5 areas that I just talked about by helping them improve workflows, by enabling them to integrate with GIS and geographic information systems. So what we do specifically is we help organizations like yourself with system architecture and implementing the GIS solutions, custom application development, whether that's from on your desktop, your mobile, or from the web, help with geospatial database design, and then also performing analytics. Strategizing, how do you set up a GIS system and be successful, and how does that planning look like across your organization? We help with that. Doing 3D visualization and 3D visualization and reality capture. So making your city into a digital twin per se. And then finally enabling mobile, the ability to go out in the field and collect GIS assets out in the field, for example. All right, this next slide shows where we are located across the United States. We have 130 offices. We have a large footprint in Maryland, in the Mid-Atlantic, with a couple offices in Maryland. We've been working with the state of Maryland and are on a CATS Plus contract. That's the Consulting and Technology Service contract for 14 plus years. It's a statewide IT consulting and technical services master contract. So To get on it, we had to demonstrate that we are meet Maryland, the state of Maryland's vendor qualifications, their contracting and technical service requirements. So this has provided the state with a really easy to use procurement tool that allows us to partner with Maryland when it comes to contracting for technical services and support of environment, public sector, and some delivery standards as well. All right, next slide, Dave. All right, so then we're going to just do a quick high level of what GIS is, and I will go dive into this. So GIS is Geographic Information System. So it's really a system, an IT system that allows you to create, manage, analyze, and map all different types of real world data. So you could imagine your assets out in the field, like your manholes or your stop signs, your crime incidents, anything that has location information associated with it. We can take that data and allow you to visualize that in a map per se. What it really does is it allows you to understand where things are and what things actually look like at those places. And this provides the foundation of your mapping and your analysis, which allows you to better understand patterns, relationships, and the geographic context. So the example I like to use is, when I was working at the City of Falls Church, they had all their data in spreadsheets with addresses in there. You look at that spreadsheet, you can see an address, but until you put it on a map, you can't really see any patterns or any kind of relationships between those locations that you're comparing. So being able to take that location information and visualize it on a map allows you to be more efficient and make better decisions, really, at the end of the day. Okay, next slide. At the heart of GIS is spatial analysis. Kind of what I'm reiterating is, how things are related to another and how it all means, and what it means, right? And what actions can you take based off that spatial analysis that you perform to help your organization or your town make, decisions that will impact the public, but also financial decisions, strategic decisions, just being able to be more organized and aware of what assets and data that you have available as well. And Dave's going to jump into some of the integration pieces where if you have some existing systems, GIS is really nice way to integrate with those existing systems. And specifically, what we call a web GIS. And this is Esri's ArcGIS Online application. And what it boils down to is really it's a system of systems, right? So it's a system of record. So this is your authoritative data that you collect out in the field, that you manage, and that you provide to the public that says, this is where this manhole is located. This is the height it's at. Whatever information you want to share, it's that authoritative data set. The next system is the system of insights. It's taking that authoritative data and being able to perform analysis on that data so you can get information pulled from that authoritative data. And then finally, the last system is the system of engagement. And this is taking that insights that you just developed and providing that information in the form of a dashboard, for example, or some sort of application or a printed map, and being able to provide that information to your users. And one of the terms that I learned at Esri they like to use is the ability to discover, use, make, share maps to any device, anywhere, at any time. And that's really sums up what the system of engagement represents. Next slide. And now I'm going to hand it off to Dave. Dave's going to go into ArcGIS Online and some examples. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to start off by showing what GIS can do for local government. And one of the things it can do is resolve some of the pain points you might have in workflow or operations. And what I'm displaying here kind of relates to the public works sector. Service requests come into the office. They need to be sent out as work orders. The work orders can be updated in the maintenance and operations. That data ends up going into modeling and analytics. And from there, it can feed into capital planning programs and interagency coordination. And that data goes back to the next service request that comes in. This workflow has all kinds of opportunities for having GIS be at the hub of it all, if you will, to be able to exchange that information clearly from one department to the next. So the communication, the ability to interface with existing programs, billing, the finance side of it, design, etc. GIS works as the tool to be able to make it all happen. So the first thing we would recommend to do with you is to sit down and talk about what the things are that you do, and see which ones we could address first, because there's all kinds of opportunities that could be explored, and to achieve the best solution to that, to be able to pick the right solutions to get started. Speaking of solutions, Esri offers solutions as a kind of a jump start to be able to set up the framework for the mapping. And the framework of ArcGIS Online, or the enterprise solution is a parent of that, it put into a context of web maps and applications and dashboards. But the right people need to be able to see that information and pass it along. The solutions that Esri provides sets that up very quick and easy. So we can turn these things around and get you started on collecting and sharing this information very quickly. The solutions are also ones that can be configured to meet your specific needs, so they're not something you have to follow a specific design. And if any of these solutions don't work out, we can build it from the bottom up. But the Esri solutions are a real advantage. I would say that you're at a good point to start exploring the Esri world, because in the state of Maryland, you have a ton of existing data that you can pull from federal agencies. The state itself has online authoritative data available, property data, etc. So you aren't starting at ground zero. You have the ability to have a lot of the information that will feed into your base map and be able to build your program. I've listed off a couple of the solutions here, but as I said, if we were to get started with you, the first thing we would do is have an interactive, find out what your strategic plan is, and find out where you find the need for having spatial tools to be able to help address those needs. This is just a screenshot of a bunch that I've worked on over the years. There's been dozens and dozens, and these are open-end contracts we have with public utilities and local government across the spectrum. These types of open-end contracts, which is what we would explore with you, are ones that oftentimes I've had these clients for 20 years. The reason that it works for them is that I'm here to help them. GFT is here as your spatial partner, if you will. We can set up the framework, set up the applications, get you started, and enable you then to be able to operate these tools without becoming GIS experts. But when you have a need for an adjustment and a need for a tweak of the program, you call and we're there for you. So that open-end agreement allows you to spend as much or as little on the contracts and services that we have. I would be an administrator to your program to be able to jump in and help out whenever you have a need for doing that. And as an example of that, just one of many, as you see, the University Area Joint Authority is a sewer authority around State College, Pennsylvania, which is where I'm from. And we started ArcGIS Online with them years ago, but recently they've had a lot more investment in it, if you will. And we've tied in their survey grade GPS unit to a mobile device, which could be just a phone, to be able to bring up a web map in Esri, but tie in a survey GPS collector and they've collected over 27,000 points. These would be cleanouts and any asset, any infrastructure that they need to maintain, as well as other types of utilities that cross their line. And they've done this for addressing those different types of work orders, different types of workflows that are all tied into the work that they do. And in a lot of cases, things like the CCTV cameras and other locator tools that they currently had, we've integrated that with their system as well. Just to give you a sense, they have 33 user accounts. And so to Esri, you wouldn't pay us this, but there is an account that you would set up for each individual that needs to access this web map in one way or another, depending on their roles and how they interact with the tools. And University Area Joint Authority has 4 creators. That's at the administrative level. 5 mobile workers. That's a level down from that, and 24 viewers. And you can see that the differences in the levels have different access and different use capabilities, and they also have different costs for the annual fee that's associated with that. So we would work with you to find out who needs what, essentially, when we set it up for you. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the examples. This happened to be the maintenance and operations for University Area Joint Authority. There's a lot of data feeding into this from existing work that's being done in the field, as well as the camera work that they do for prioritizing the pipes, and they use this then to do dispatch on a daily basis. This kind of maintenance and operations, they use GIS exclusively for this. Well, a lot of the other clients that I serve have asset management programs like CityWorks, and more sophisticated, and we would integrate with that if you had something like that already in place. Now, those work orders, from the experience of the UAJ, University Joint Authority, the people in the field have direct access to everything that has already been surveyed. They were able to bring up the CCTV reports, as-built drawings in the field, and any site photos that they might happen to have attached over time as they execute the work on a daily basis. They also have the data is tied into the financial side as well. They have sub-basins for the sewer collection that span across multiple townships, each of these having a tapping fee that's different. So they're able to keep track of not only the flow, but also the connections associated with each of the municipalities, which helps keeps their record keeping straight. They've used that survey grade GPS in a way that is kind of unique. Most of the times when they have a new area that needs to be built, they would send out an engineer, they would do a construction drawing, then they would do construction to finalize. Since they have their own survey grade GPS, this area that I'm showing right here, they actually went out and built it as they went and survey grade GPS'd all the features that they installed, and you could see there was a lot going on there. And they are actually able to collect everything else that crossed their line as well, to be able to know exactly what's there. We use the data in GIS to send to the engineer to make the final drawing. So we kind of did it backwards from what it normally is, and it worked out great. They use that data then for capital planning, and the capital planning that they perform allows them to have interagency coordination for road closures, because the PennDOT and every other agency that has construction work going on, that is one thing that truly helps them out, because they may have their own plan from the sewer side, but they need to make adjustments throughout the year, of course, based on the realities of things that are going on.
So
yes,
to jump in,
yeah,
we have a project going on right now in town where WSSC is replacing sewer pipes. They're working on certain streets. Sometimes there's road closures, and we also had we have paving going on in other parts of the city simultaneously. So you're saying the system you can build would give us like a visual representation for like a resident of where these things are happening and when, how long the project's going on, or even if we were building something new, like if we were going to build a new building somewhere, that could be tracked and put into this data and displayed visually as well?
In 2 ways. You can do it yourself and be able to have a public facing map that shows on a daily basis what the traffic patterns will be, where the closures might be, next week. You can do it yourself, or better yet, you could do like we've done many times, is you get all the agencies to tap into the same map, and it produces one that allows for if it's a multi a larger type of project that spans a length that may go outside your municipality, you can make it so that it's a multi-agency type of a dashboard as well.
So people can plug into our database, so they can send their data to us based on something they're doing in our area.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you can have the data feeds. You want to have authoritative data feeds, but you also do public surveys as well, and it can be put into that kind of a context. So this kind of a coordination tool, everything you do is spatial, and I don't mean to be biased about that, but that is the thing that brings it together. Is that everything that is part of a local government, just about 99%. Has a spatial component to it. So being able to utilize the map, utilize the spatial analysis tools and the communication tools, that's the key. And especially for your board meetings will change. I assure you. You'll be able to have dashboards that are tailored just for your board meetings to see where those high level indicators might be. For the one I'm showing right now is a dashboard that's down in the weeds. It is for being able to show assets for UAJ. On a daily basis, they can go in and see. For this is really kind of designed for an annual report, but they have a board as well. We have a different dashboard that summarizes the work that they do in different ways, so that they could use that dashboard as the tool to see the performance. And those kind of performance indicators can be, what is the turnaround time on the public potholes? What can we show our community? We can demonstrate to our community we're making progress on these things, and they have a spatial component to them.
And you said annual report, so it can help you get the data or generate an annual report, so we can talk about what we've done.
Right. And
figures and actual data.
We can actually, and I'll show an example of something very specific for producing reports, but we can tailor it so that you can get data that would feed into a report, or we can actually tailor it so that we could generate the report, depending on the type of thing that you're doing. So this kind of dashboard right here was not really meant for doing all of those things. It was meant for the visual of being able to see where they were. But here's a different term, and I apologize for throwing out these things. Esri calls it Survey 123. What Survey 123 is actually a survey that you can use. It's a tool that comes along with your subscription to ArcGIS Online, but it's another way of gaining information that you could use for your own staff, or you can actually send out surveys to the public as well. And it gives you not only where the people were that recorded that survey, but it summarizes that information that you can pull into a dashboard, and we can have it export out to a very customized report. And so this case was Nassau County out of Long Island. They had a lot of stormwater inspections for outfalls, and the regulatory agency is the state. The state required that each county does this. They had thousands of these things, and they used to have to collect the data on spreadsheets, if they were lucky. It was paper before that, and then have to compile all this on PDF hard copies, and it took hours and hours. Now, when they collect it in the field, it is produced in a form that they simply hit a button, and it puts it into the PDF report, and it's mailed to the regulatory agency, including all the site photos and everything else. So,
okay.
What a time.
Let's do this. We have limited time tonight. You've given us a lot of information. I want to go to questions from council
you bet. Yep.
On the report. Council Member McDonald.
Yes, good evening. I had a couple questions. One is, what compatibility systems, I guess, we would need on our end? And how much of this work involves data centers?
On your end, we were talking about systems and IT. you would only need to be able to have connection to the internet. So it's all web-based. So when you have a subscription to ArcGIS Online, you're using the cloud, and that's the Esri platform for that. If you were to go to the next level, which is enterprise, then you would have to get your own servers to be able to push that out. When you're talking about data centers, Esri currently doesn't have their servers are scattered throughout the country. They are currently not using that format that I know, unless Matt, you have more
No,
insight.
but they're integrating within this solution. They're integrating capabilities like AI into this solution, but it doesn't impact per se data centers or having to be near a data center. This is all across the web in the cloud. This platform already exists out there, and you'll have access to it immediately. Did that answer your question?
Yeah,
Yes, and-
typically, if you have just a desktop laptops, and for the mobile people, any mobile device will work. So iPads, phones, there's nothing you have to add on to that. We would show you the apps to download, and you'd be all set and ready to go.
Yep.
And one last question, is your system designed where you if we could just pick, I guess, what would be helpful for us, or you can't do one without the other in terms of how the system is designed?
The system is a platform that you can do what you want it to do. And so when I was talking about those solutions, that is one where if you have a need in, say, the crime or the planning department or whatnot, we want to know about what that need is. And then you could always go with a generalized base map, but having just one map that serves all the functions isn't really the way to go. You want to be able to be able to meet the needs of each of the sections of your community. All that data comes together and can be summarized, but generally speaking, you want to find out what type of question you want to have answered.
Yep.
You design it around that.
What the advantage of this platform is that you can quickly spin up these applications, and you can train your staff to create these applications too. Like that dashboard Dave showed earlier, with a little bit of training, they'll be able to do that like you would be filling out a Word document. You get used to it, you learn the system, and then they're disposable, right? So you could turn them on, turn them off whenever you want, play around with, see what works, see what doesn't work.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So then
I want to see
go ahead.
questions so we can make sure we get them all in, and
Okay.
we'll go to the next item. Any other questions, Council President? No. I thought I saw your hand near the mic. Council President?
Thank you. You started by saying that you needed our strategic plan, right?
It would be helpful.
It would
be
be
able to
helpful?
see how we could tie what we're doing to meet those needs. Yeah, well, I don't need it. I think it's a good way to start the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my experience is that instead of diving in and unless I mean, you may have we have this need. Great.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
the other question, have you done this for any municipality in Prince George's County?
I have been with the company for 39 years. I've done a lot of stuff in a lot of states. I personally haven't. I can't say in our company is thousands of people. In our company is unique because our GIS section is hundreds of people. We don't have GIS kind of spread out throughout our engineering company. So within our 100+ person GIS section, there may be, and I'm sorry, I don't know specifically about that. But I have done a lot of work in Maryland, and going back to 1992 was my first job on Route 301, and I spent a couple of decades on.
Yeah, I would to be honest, I'd say between 80 and even probably greater than 80% of local government are using Esri software to manage their
It is.
GIS authoritative data and to create these applications.
It's really.
One good example, just to highlight, is Maryland's IMAP. The state uses ArcGIS and their capabilities there, so you can get an idea of what they do. The City of Falls Church in Virginia, where I used to work, they're very similar size to you guys. They've been using it for more than 15 years. So,
Councilmember Brownson.
My question is, how much time would an employee from the town of Forest Heights need in order to get you the data in order to build the system?
We would show you, depending on what we're talking about, we would show you how the data could be collected in your existing program. So if it's a need from field data collection, if it's a need to integrate with your existing systems, it all depends on what kind of data we're talking about. As I said, there's a lot of existing data out there that could be utilized, but to be able to answer your question specifically, it would either be created or built as you go, and so that's difficult to answer specifically because each application might be a little bit different. As far as training, though, like I said before, there's no intention of making you all experts in GIS. So the applications will allow you to work without that being, exclusively trained in that. So yeah, sorry, Matt.
no, I was just going to give an example. We used to use spreadsheets with addresses in it representing a location. Using this platform, it was as simple as dragging and dropping it from a folder, that spreadsheet, into the Maps interface, and it would automatically locate that information for you. So, that's the real basic. Creating data can take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, to, going out in the field and actually collecting the data. That's going to be a little bit more of an effort, but like Dave was saying, there's a lot of authoritative data across Maryland. They have a really strong, robust GIS platform that we can leverage to enhance what's already available in your town.
Thank you.
All right. If there's no further questions, were there any high-level points you needed to hit before? No, that's your last slide. Well, excellent. Thank you for the presentation tonight.
Yep. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Next, we will have a presentation from the Beautification and Appearance Committee. And we have with us tonight Ms. Tracy Mao and Ms. Rosalind Smoot.
Hey, everyone. I'm Tracy Mao. Roz is going to come join me. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Huh? Is the
mic green?
It's green. It is green, yep.
Okay. And do we have a presentation to show for you?
There is a I don't know if it's ready or not, but we can also talk around it. So are there any slides? Oh, well, thanks, Clay.
Oh, it looks like it's on the computers as well. Those of us at the dais.
Yeah. She's also here, so I could just say. Oh, yeah. Or we'll see if okay, yeah. I have it kind of summarized. There we go. Thank you. All right. Well, I hope everyone can see the screen and our slides. So thank you so much for pulling those up. I'm Tracy Mao from the Beautification Committee, and I'm here with Roz Smoot, who's also on our Beautification Committee, as well as Margaret, who wasn't able to join us today. And we also wanted to let everyone know who's attending virtually or in person that we're always accepting volunteers. So if anyone is interested in participating in the Beautification Committee, to please reach out to us. We could go to the next slide, please. So our beautification committee is championed by our own council member. You're right there, Branson. And it consists of our 3 members here, and we were brought together and sworn in earlier in the spring, as many of you may remember. Okay, thank you. So in May, we were tasked with looking at plants that we could put in 12 spots around town. And you can see a map here built in that very system that we just heard about. And so we were looking at 12 strategies around town, and you can see where those are on that map. You can go to the next one. Thank you. So this was all came out of the America in Bloom evaluation. They had come last year and gone through the town with our mayor and evaluated how what our town could do to promote civic engagement, beautification, and improving the appearance of our town. And you can see here they said that we definitely have the potential to improve our appearance, and we know we've been seeing it happen over time, and they saw that as well. It is a little bit limited by aging landscapes and the inconsistent maintenance, and then the lack of cohesive design. So they're giving us some pointers about how we can improve. And then what we can be thinking about how to move forward is creating these vibrant pollinator-friendly displays to try to reinforce that pride, community pride. And so that's what we took these recommendations as well as our charge, and you can go to the next screen. And we got to work. So we had our first meeting on May 17th. You can see us working hard there at the table. And we then pulled together our recommendations in about a week and got those to the town by May 27th before our due date. So if you can go to the next one, please. The slide right before that just kind of shows our report, which we're happy to share with anyone. It goes by each section and why we chose what we chose. The idea was to utilize native plants where we could, because they need relatively few inputs. It aligns with the pollinator-friendly gardens, and for a whole host of other reasons, to include economic vitality. Yeah, thank you so much. So you can see each of those town gateway signage sites. There were 5 of those. We have our civic and gathering areas, and I hope that you all go out and see these areas for yourselves. The community garden perimeter, the town hall, and the gathering space, as well as some medians around town. I will note 210 is on here, and I know we're working diligently with the state to work on that. And I know Clayton is working really hard on that one. So we gave this list to the town, and then the town was able to pick them. If you could go to the next one. Pick the following plants. This is in order of when they bloom in the season. And then I've kind of color coded so you can see that it's going to be red in the spring with some yellow. And then as we move throughout the year, we're going to see some pale white and some other yellow flowers, and then finishing up with some green and purple ones in the fall. So it's a great place where we started. If you can just go to the next one. I think that might have been it. That's it. Okay, great. And so that's what happened essentially last week. All those plants got into the ground by Independence Day. And moving into this week, we had the American in Bloom people come back and go around the town with us. These were 2 new folks. Overall, it was very educational. It was helpful. It was really fun. And it started with discussions every morning in the town hall and talking about how the day went before and what we could think about. And then on day 1, we did the east side, and then the day 2, we did the west side. They shared a lot of their best practices that they have seen around the community as they've been doing this for a long time. And that also includes PG County. There's other towns where they've been looking at through. So we were able to at least get some names where we can connect and network with some people who are here and understand PG County. They provided technical assistance on community engagement and volunteerism, landscape design, flower choices, local networking communities, and process evaluation strategies to know that are we doing the right thing? Is the community happy about it? What can we do to improve and continue that cycle? Sharing their own experience, they did stress the importance of resilience and community self-sufficiency in the face of future challenges. And they very much appreciated many residents' beautiful gardens and talented growers we have in town. So thank you all for your beautiful gardens. Next steps will be for the beautification committee to draft our meeting summary, and our next meeting will be in early August for strategic planning and incorporating some of their guidance and recommendations from the advisors. In September 24th and 26th, there will be the National America in Bloom Symposium and Award Ceremony. PG County is the host of that national symposium, and we are being represented by our town administrator, Clay Jackson, and he has asked the beautification committee to present at that meeting. So thank you so much. That's our report. Are there any questions? Yeah.
Councilmember Kennedy.
First of all, thank you. Do y'all have any experience with vegetative green roofs?
With what?
Vegetative green roofs.
I have a little bit of experience with green roofs, but I've never like installed one myself.
Okay, well, we actually have one on top of this building.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I don't know if that was on your radar, that y'all might be able to do something with.
That's a great idea.
But I don't know if y'all would want to climb up there to look at it, but
We saw it from the hill because
Okay.
you can just go to the top and like look back down.
it's just another thing on your radar.
Yeah,
That,
thank you.
if y'all have suggestions,
Mhm.
or if we need to outsource to get somebody up there.
Okay, great.
All right,
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Some roses up there.
That's
That's our favorite flower.
I'm trying to get a little taller. But to answer your question, when we did do the walkthrough, we stood out and we had the.
Ms. Ross, could you step close to that mic so folks can hear you at home as well?
To answer your question is when we did our walkthrough, we went out, thank you to CJ, and showing us that top level up there. It was interesting. All right. And then also I never knew what that wall was that was going around the corner, how you have that for the water. Yeah, that median wall. And you can grow stuff there as well. I didn't. I just thought it was just something there. So that's something else that we're going to add to our list to see what we can do to beautify that too. So when people come up there to park, whenever we might be allowed to come up there to park, when we come up there, we could see that. It's a couple of things that I've learned through this whole process. And I think that Tracy had a good idea about training the kids about the different plants that we are planting, the plants we are, and the suggestions that we received from Bloom, and to include the kids to help us with this. So with all of that, that's what we're going to do when we have our meeting. And one thing I have to champion my person right here, Tracy, for all that she's done with the drawings and the future drawings that we haven't presented yet, but we want to present, okay? Coming down 210 so it can be beautified and look like Route 1. Okay, so Tracy, thank you.
Thank you for everything. She's leaving.
Were there any other questions from council for the beautification committee? So right now, council can ask questions. During public period, you can ask, but I can't allow the public to ask during the meeting. Thank you. Yeah, sure. No problem. Councilmember McDonald.
I just had a couple of questions. Thank you all for your committee and Council Brownson being the champion and all. That's good. So I see on the map here, I see Comanche entrance, and then I think this is west, east. So where the green markers are, that's where the 12 areas we're going to be looking at,
Yeah.
right?
That map is available online as well, so you can like kind of zoom in and see. And it also showed that entire area versus what was actually planted. So it should be updated with what's been actually, like the amount of space that's been.
Okay, so at the entrance of Comanche, are we talking on the left side? Once you come onto Comanche,
Side
right,
By the sign.
okay.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of greenery right there. So are we talking about redesigning that whole area right there?
Well, it's already been everything's been planted to date so far. So the next step will be to take what we've done and work with you all to see what are the next goals. Is it the rooftop? Is it continuing on, Comanche? Like where are we looking to do next?
Okay, so it's a lot of trees over there on that left side. So is that what we're talking about? That's what it is in terms of the, oh, by the sign. Okay, I thought it was talking about where the walkway was and all of those big, huge trees that's coming over.
You have to look at it in phases, you know? You can't go in and just tear everything down. You gotta go in and add some and pull back and do it in phases.
Right.
Because one of the things I've learned over a little bit here is we all look at things differently, okay? Like we had a presentation to do to the Bloom people when they came. Okay, when I went to do a drive around, you got a flag up there that needs to be changed. I mean, those are things you got to do to beautify, to prepare for a presentation that you're going to do with your customer. The customer should never walked in here and saw that flag look like that, or they saw your top of this building needing to be trimmed. All of that stuff need to be done prior to your vendor coming in this door to view us as a neighborhood. So to answer your question, you got to realize we got to do this in phases. All right. And as we do it in phases, we're going to make improvements and we're going to make some mistakes and we're going to do some things that's going to make it look perfect. All right. But we're going to all have to work together. Okay. So in the future, CJ, we all going to sit down together and not just texting each other and emailing each other and look at what we're doing and what it looks like. You know,
May I, Mayor? And I agree with you because that vegetation that's on the top up there, it's not just a going up there and cutting it. It's up there for a purpose and we got to be clear as to what the objective is in terms of, because it is up there and it's looking all kinds of ways,
Right.
but it's looking all kinds of ways because that's how it's growing. And we want to be careful in how we go about trimming it.
And you're correct, it is. But to me, when you are doing a presentation and you bringing somebody in to evaluate you, you got to look good. Your mama told you, make sure your shoes are shine and everything is right. It might not be like that every day, but when they come through that door, it's going to look like that.
Well, to your point, our goal is to make it look like that every day. And you all are helping us to do that. Councilmember Kennedy?
Yeah, just a little 2-second history about that green roof.
Okay.
We had somebody that claimed they knew what they were doing, and they hacked the heck out of it. We actually had to hire a company to come in to attempt to fix what was hacked. So that's why I asked if y'all had any knowledge of it. I mean, I don't expect y'all to be the expert on everything, but I do appreciate what y'all are doing to help make the town look better.
It's all into answer that other question is who the vendors that we choose to do it and contacting people to help us. Because whoever put those plants in, I just like, why would you put a tall plant right dead in the middle of the sign when it needs to be off to the side? Okay, so my thing is them making sure they know what they're doing. Okay, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about. Well, no, I'm just talking about getting it done properly. So what we are doing here won't look like we ain't did nothing.
And that
'Cause when you
is
look at it, it looks horrible.
that is our end game. You know, even with the trees when they were planted years ago, some trees were planted under the lines that should have never been planted under the lines. So if it's going to grow and interfere with any type of power or communication line, it should not be planted there. So you're right. Hopefully, as we get people who help volunteer, which is a rare breed nowadays, we'll get people who will do their due diligence and find out what plant, shrub, tree should go where, and then that way we don't have to do double the work. So
Batters on some of those.
Yes, absolutely.
So when we get our little report, it's gonna be nice, but it ain't gonna be pretty.
Oh, our evaluation?
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually mentioned exactly what you said.
Council President?
I want to first thank you all for all your efforts, and I did mention that plant in the middle. So see, we see things the same way, in the middle of the sign. Um, as far as the elementary school, I know Forest Heights Elementary, we were working with them and they were trying to plant something. So they have a lot of Mexican sunflowers out there now. And I visited their little boxes and the students planted something and they had their names there. So I'm pretty sure that Miss Wright would welcome any involvement with the students at Forest Heights Elementary. And then if you could look at the garden, we talked about this on the outside, how we can beautify it. Thank you.
You gonna have to give us a check, man. This volunteer stuff is getting to be deep.
Well, I do have a shout out for you all in the report, in my report tonight. And we thank you for the work you're doing. We know it takes all of us. And that's what we've been saying. We need your help, your input, your honest feedback. And we ask for the American Bloom to give us their honest assessment of where we are. Because once we know, we can improve. And we can tell by what you presented tonight that you've got a plan, it's organized. And then also that if anybody steps out of line, if we have a contractor who does the wrong thing, we're going to send Ms. Roz over to them to get them straight. Or maybe we'll have you overseeing them. But we thank you for your help. And we're looking forward to making Forest Heights look its best with your help. Yeah, and special shout out to Miss Margaret Raji. She was here earlier tonight. She wasn't able to stay. Shout out to her as well. All right. We've had, now we're into council member and mayor reports. Council member McDonald, Ward 1.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have anything other than wanting to just alert the residents about the tags. It will be something that is going to be enforced. And so want to let the residents know to please note the 60 days that persons have in order to come into compliance. So just wanted to give the residents a heads up. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Little from Ward 1 is not here tonight, so we'll go to Councilmember Brownson, Ward 2.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much to say. Yeah, I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Councilmember Kennedy, also from Ward 2.
Volunteers needed for whatever you feel your specialty is. Over the years, we can probably count on a couple hands how many volunteers we've had. We do appreciate them. We don't want to burn them out. It is good to see new volunteers. So we definitely appreciate y'all. We welcome any support that we can get. Reminder that this weather is interesting, so try to keep hydrated. Don't overdo it when you're outside. Keep in touch with your neighbors, especially the ones that may be a little elderly, to make sure that they're okay, that their AC is working, and just look out for each other as neighbors and friends. And also a reminder about Forest Heights Day, which is August 15th. And thank you for all of our employees that are diligently working to keep Forest Heights running. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Ward 3, Councilmember Hines.
I'll say it. Thank you. Good evening. My first thing would probably be, I was, talking about the business cards and how important it would be if we were to switch over. So I really would like to, know if we can do this, because we had an incident where the rain on Roth Drive knocked over a tree. It was early in the morning, and the tree went into the street, and neighbors came together, or I don't know, whomever else, but they sawed it, they pulled it, but, you know, it was a Saturday. I didn't know what to tell them, so I was, you know, but anyway, so my thing is, you know, opposed to this is the way the back of our cards look. And this would be, you know, with the phone numbers, and I just want to know, can I just, you know if the council would be for it? And then also, I just wanted to find out the status on the mowing. Did we switch over? Do we have a contract with someone because there's a few yards that really need to be looked at, and if we have the list, you know, what's going to happen with that? So, yeah, and then one more thing. I wanted to know, have we ever done Christmas cards as the council and the mayor? Would you guys be interested in doing one? I know
Tell us more.
digital, or it's online, or I don't know.
I mean, sending one out.
Yeah, sending one out from the mayor and the council, and, you know, taking the picture and coming together as council and the mayor. That's all my report is. Thank you.
I don't know that we've done it before, but it's worth exploring. Okay. On the business cards, it seems like a no-brainer. We did it before, and it provides a lot of information for people, which I've heard the same advice. So I support putting the numbers on the back of getting another reprint of business cards that have numbers on the back for all the basic services residents will need. And in the event that there's a tree that falls, you can call me, you can call the town administrator, and we'll make sure that we get Public Works out to remove trees, because they are on call when we have storms. So we want to remove trees as soon as possible so roadways remain passable and so residents don't have to do it. All right, next we'll go to Council President Noble, also Ward 3.
Yes, good evening all. Just want to remind everyone of this Friday, card and crocheting night here at the town hall. Also on Saturday at Oxon Hill High School, Delegate Jamila Woods is having her maternal health fair. It's free, so plan to attend. In reference to safety, I spoke to Councilmember Burrows last month about a light at Comanche and Livingston, and they do have it on their list to, I guess, I don't know if they do a survey or what, but that's on their agenda, the Comanche and Livingston. Also, in reference to safety, I know in January we passed a resolution in reference to Vision Zero. And they had a presentation, they had some signs, and I thought we were going to get some signs for the town. So I don't know if that's considered or not, to slow down or to keep the town safe.
The signs you're talking about, we were supposed to get from the Let's Drive Safer program.
Yeah.
Right? And the wraps for the
Mhm.
bowls.
What's that? That's right. Yeah. Or Vision Zero. I don't know. It was somebody that had those signs.
I think it was Let's Drive Safer in
Okay.
Avia, who was supposed to give signs for like slowing down. and
Right.
slowing down.
And I think that may help too. And we may have residents who are willing to put the signs in their yard so people can slow down. Because again, there are no speed limit signs within the town, just at the entrances. I did talk to someone about the West End and the lack of attention it's been getting. So I did talk to Mr. Jackson, who's assured me that that's going to get some great attention this week. So we're going to be monitoring. Cleanup. And also at the stop sign with the camera at Woodland and Seneca. I talked to Mr. Jackson and to the chief because before the Veterans Park had not grown up. So the flowers weren't there initially, but now that they're growing, it's kind of awkward, but we still stop at the stop sign, but it's still awkward. And also Prince George's County, when they did the Veterans Park, the suggestion was to make that one way as opposed to two-way traffic. So we may want to look at that again. And I think that's it for me for now. Thank you.
Councilmember Brownson.
Go one way out or one way in. Right now, the cars turn in on the left side and the right side, so it's no distinct, and it's not safe. When we were out there with the woman, yeah. Oh, for the residents, yes, one way. Well, we're in a circle, yeah,
Sounds like we may need to bring a visual in
yeah.
to look at this on a map or something so we can all. Okay. Chief, do you have in your authority the ability to change the direction of traffic to one way, or?
We would have to look through the state just to make sure that we are following the guidelines.
Okay,
But
so
we
need to
can't
research
just
it.
go and do it.
Okay. All right, I have my report for July 15th. It's up on the screen. Those in the audience. I can get it to go to the next page. There we go. Yeah, we heard this evening from Greenwell about Boys and Girls Club funding, but before we get down to a large project, we were notified that the Boys and Girls Club are going to start their programming this fall in Forest Heights Elementary School. So they were able to meet with the principal, and beginning in fall 2026, they'll start offering after-school education and recreational opportunities for our students. And we're happy about that because Boys and Girls Club provides a need for families, and kids have a place to go. It kind of helps fill the gap. Now that we've got summer and spring camp happening, this will be an additional component to provide services for our kids right in Forest Heights. And hopefully it shows that we have the demand and the need for the facility ahead of some of our meetings to ask for funding and support. Earlier tonight, we had a stop sign safety community forum. We hosted this open forum for residents and with the mayor and council to discuss pedestrian safety around the town. We just want to say we appreciate everyone's feedback, everyone who participated. We're going to take a good look at what we discussed tonight and look forward to having conversations about what happens next with the program. We have areas in town that need repaving specifically due to the snowstorm. Some refer to it as snowcrete that we got back in January. The damaged pavement on Arapahoe Drive was completed on Monday, and we've identified an additional area that needs pavement repair at the intersection of Quaid and Comanche, right near that stop sign and the dead end behind Flintstone Elementary School. So we'll be providing some updates once we evaluate and see what is needed there. Also, WSSC is continuing their work replacing sewer lines and repaving patches of roadway on the west side of town. That's going to continue for the time being, and we hope those wrap up soon. We've moved money in our budget this year to help with repaving whatever patches of roadway don't get fixed in some of the more serious potholes and areas that are not smooth and need attention on that side of town. We received notification this week that Maryland Tax Connect, which is the online tax portal, is going to be switching over this month, and they have some dates you should be aware of. So if you normally use a check to make tax payments, the last day for that will be July 24th. The last day to file returns or make online payments will be July 29th. And then from August 21st to August 31st, the system will be down altogether. And the new Tax Connect site will open up on September 1st. So if you're an individual or a business and you have some tax payments or issues to work through this month, you want to look at those dates and make sure you get to the comptroller's office and handle those things before the blackout dates. This is just a reminder as well that mayor and council will recess in August, so we won't have any regularly scheduled meetings. Our council meetings will resume in September. And as I was looking at this, it brings up a good question because our first Monday is Labor Day. And so do we want to move the meeting to Tuesday or do we want to move it to the following Monday? Because right now it falls on a holiday, September the 6th. Okay, so if we're all in agreement, we'll move the meeting to Tuesday, September the 7th. All right. And Madam Clerk, if you could help us with just adjusting that on the calendar and the notices that go out. We had America in Bloom do the evaluation visit this week, as the Beautification Committee spoke about earlier. In this picture are two of our members missing. They weren't out with us in the Veterans Park that day, but they did come to the meetings, provide their time, their energy, their effort, their input into the planning, and they did meetings beforehand. So it was really a group effort, and we're happy to be at year 2 to see what we improved on and then to get recommendations of what we can tackle next in our effort to make Forest Heights look its best. It's been a year since the first time they came. They send different people every time, yeah. Also, shout out to the town administrator. He helped coordinate a lot. They had to come in and stay somewhere. We had to get them here every day. We had to feed them, and then we had to get everyone around. And it takes a lot of coordination in addition to the normal day-to-day. Also coordinating with the committee. So thank you for your efforts. I was also able to attend the National Church of God Community Day, which is over Bach Road and what is that, St. Barnabas Road that runs there. And what was nice was there were 2 of our residents, Forest Heights residents, that were involved with putting the day on, and they got lots of accolades for their volunteerism. And so it was just a point of pride to go over there and recognize and help celebrate the efforts they're doing, which impact our community. Lastly, save the date. Forest Heights Day is going to be August the 15th. We are going to have a parade resume this year, and the parade will start at 11 a.m. The regular festival will start at 12 p.m. We'll have food, music, crafts, vendors, activities for kids, trivia, prizes, and more. The location for the Forest Heights Day, after deliberation with the team and the chief and the staff, is going to be the Gathering Place. However, the chief has come up with a plan for using multiple places for parking and shuttling people across 210 so that we can have a highly visible spot and then also deal with some of the challenges we know we normally face with the annual Forest Heights Day.
So everybody at home can hear me? That's not big enough.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk. Councilmember Ronson. It's a combined event. The August 15th date is the Forest Heights Day. There's going to be some elements of market there, yes. Councilmember Kennedy.
So I can't see having all the vendors that we would normally have. 2 of the other things that we have had for as long as I can remember, which is like at least 13 to 15 years. If you put a moon bounce there and then they do the laser tag there and then the food vendors, you will not have 5 feet for residents to even attend this function. And the parking, yeah, we can shuttle, but yeah, that location is ideal for visibility, but it is not ideal for hosting that function.
Anyone else want to weigh in? Councilmember Hines.
I'm just asking this question because this would be the first time that we've ever had Forest Heights Day somewhere other than the 2 parks. And I just wanted to know why. Why would it be? because, we have porta potties, or we do something as far as the bathrooms? That kind of helps out, the parking. I'm not understanding the committee's, choice of why we did that. That's not I don't like it.
Look, you have any input? Well, look, let's just say this. This is why we wanted to talk about it at the meeting.
We're not trying to be mean. We just
Look, this is why we brought it to the committee. We brought it to the meeting, to the council. So if we need to make a change, and it sounds like the majority of the council is behind making a change. Am I correct? I have three. I just want to see if anybody else, Council President, you sure don't have any input? The question is on the location. Any input? Support moving it to another location?
It's gonna be August, it's hot. It's gonna be, make it breathe.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's going to be hot, and the fact that it's at a smaller space makes it feel hotter. Well, I want to know what you think.
But, okay, well, I like the gathering place for like National Night Out, those, smaller pop-up, like Juneteenth, that was beautiful out there. But I think the kids need space to run and be safe, and I think that happens in the park.
Okay.
But wherever you all decide, I'll stop by.
We're gonna handle this right now. So we have two parks. We got Forest Heights Park, which is on this side of town, Terrell and Ottawa / Shawnee, and we have the park or the field behind Forest Heights Elementary School. Chief.
Can I make one recommendation before we decide? We do have the possibility of getting Guardian to land for the kids. Guardian, the helicopter. So whatever park or whatever location we choose, it just needs to be large enough for Guardian to land and take back off. So
now, do you know which location is large enough for that?
what? Forest Heights Elementary. That back field is large enough for a landing pad. We can keep it open for Guardian to come down and land so that they can.
We certainly are not going to be able to have a helicopter land anywhere near the gathering place. Just have to land on 210.
Yes. So I just wanted to. We have that opportunity to have it for Forest Heights Day.
And we've had the helicopter before on this side in the park. So it's just location, establishing where.
Do we have a straw poll for which location? Anybody want to raise a finger tipping it one way? Councilmember Bronson. The field is not Maryland Park and Planning. I think it's actually the school. Oh, they mean the path like Bell Acres?
I can reach out to them and just make sure we get.
I'm sure she can let them know that we're going to be using it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If we use Forest Heights Elementary, the field over there, if we could bring it closer in some things, because I think it was so spread out.
Yeah.
It was that
Yeah.
in.
We don't want you to have to walk in
parents
acres of
with
grass.
kids. Yeah.
Okay, so Councilmember Kennedy.
Would be the one, but if we have a helicopter coming down, then I would probably vote for the field behind Forest Heights Elementary School. If we use the other one, because every function we seem to have a moon bounce of some kind, we don't need that moon bounce with kids in it blowing into the next community when the helicopter lands.
Okay. Councilmember McDonald, anything?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right. So with that, we've got Forest Heights Elementary School field and also a request from multiple of us to bring it in closer. We want to keep the layout close. So it's like a street festival. We can imagine it was on 8th Street or it's on Pennsylvania Avenue. And that way you can easily talk to people who are there, see everyone who's there, easily get to all the events and the attractions that are there. We do not have a rain date. If we have a rain date, we could look at the following Saturday potentially, which is, let's pull up the date, the 22nd. Councilmember Hines.
You know, you said you're having food. Are we taking under consideration that there are going to be, food that's going to be free for some of our residents?
I've made a suggestion that we, I don't know if I put hot dogs down, but it's good. Is that something we can accommodate? Okay. Yes. Yes.
I mean, they had different vendors that, paid certain amount and gave tickets for so many meals. I think that was very popular on this side.
Logistically, how do we get the tickets out? Oh, they came to the town hall? Can we distribute the tickets on site when they get to the check-in station based on who actually shows up? I don't know. But we'll have folks who will be there who won't be residents.
That's what I'm and we're looking at I understand what you're saying. Home first, yeah, it needs to be like something like that. You can't give out, Okay.
Good suggestions, good suggestions. One thing we're gonna be looking at doing too is there's a fresh food truck that has like produce and things. We're trying to see if they'll be part of the event. Since we have a focus on, I think that's what it's called, the Black Food Truck. Since we have a focus on fresh vegetables and want to get people thinking about growing and eating fresh.
These are parasites.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And somebody gets sick.
Well, I would imagine they're paying attention to the same thing. I said I would imagine they're paying attention to the same thing, to whichever items are affected.
There's no way of knowing.
Is it affected by where it was grown? Because they grow things, or they're growing things locally.
Well,
okay, well, let's do this. Let's do something different. We'll ask the question and be aware of it.
yeah, if you blanch your vegetables or your fruit, especially if you're doing smoothies, they were saying, because if you do that, expecting it to still be firm, it's probably not going to be. But
Interesting.
I think they did also say try to get it from local sources, like if you have farmers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not online tonight, but we can ask him. Well, one of the reasons we have introduced the idea of this group is because they do get food that's grown locally, like within the county and within the local area. But thank you for bringing those points up, and thank you for your input on the day. Anybody have anything else? Yes, Council President.
I know you said that the chief could transport people, not the chief, but arrange for transportation. And in the past, long past, the town had established like bus stops. So people could get on the bus, but they would know, and we could tell them ahead of time where those stops were. And they could get a ride over, and they just ran the bus or van. I think maybe it was a van.
So my idea was to have the bus stops at the schools. So the local schools, that way everybody knows where the schools are. In front of the schools, the buses can make those routes, and they could park in the school bus. I mean, they could park in the school parking lots if they needed to, or at least walk in front. We can have the buses circling around, and it'll be central for everybody.
Okay, so we got 2 for 1. We got a shuttle element still sounds like it's popular and will help us with attendance and people getting there and back and parking. That's a good idea. So thank you all for your input. And we're looking forward to Foresight Day. We'll have a graphic out soon. We'll have signs posted around the town so people can know to come and be a part. And it will be hot. And we have a rain date is the following Saturday, August the 22nd. All righty. Well, that concludes my report. And next on our agenda, we have public period. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during public period at this time? We don't have anyone in the auditorium now, so is there anyone online who would like to speak? Going once? Going twice? Are there any hands raised or any comments in the chat box? Okay. Public period is now closed. Next, we have Resolution 49-26, and this is a resolution authorizing the town administrator to pursue and acquire the financing and procurement of consulting and technical services through the Maryland State Contract and to take all necessary preliminary actions in coordination with the treasurer to maintain any contractual payment schedule. Are we ready to vote on this tonight? Okay. Well, let's have discussion. We saw is this Mr. Jackson? Let me let you give an overview on Resolution 49-26 just after we had the presentation today. Just could you give an overview? Council is not ready to vote tonight. We're going to discuss tonight.
Dave and Matt did a wonderful job explaining. A little technical, or a lot technical. Sorry, I thought that. Hello, is this thing on? This is really low. I thought that Dave and Matt did an excellent job explaining what the capabilities of this software is. And while they were doing so, I wanted to just simplify just a bit, just to show you just 2 examples. A lot of the lead work, we had a lot of the conversation behind the scenes already on what would be a great fit for Forest Heights. That's how we arrived to the dollar amount that you voted on at the last budget session. And pretty much this build, this design can be as much or as little as we want it to be. A couple of the capabilities that I stole from is from SHA, Maryland State Highway, or a couple of the ideas, and also Howard County. Not saying Howard County is perfect, but they are good, and they're not just my alma mater. But I'm going to share my screen just to show you their dashboard. Some of the tools that I'm hoping to integrate into our platform is illustrated here, and you saw a little smaller version, but this is traffic stop data. The chief is going to hate me. It's not going to be real time, but it's going to be everywhere our officers have made a traffic stop within the town of Forest Heights. And this is the heat map for those traffic stops. And it'll show you what the traffic stop was for. It'll show you county of the resident, race, gender, things that we already have to report on due to state requirements. The other thing that I want to show you, and we're going to integrate this into our platform, as well as our public service ticket information. When we receive requests or inquiries, there's a tree down here or there's a pothole here, that's going to be integrated into this tool as well. What made me fall in love with their design, I'm trying to find it, let me close some of these windows. Let me show you a program that they're actively working on with the state.
Oh, your screen went away.
Yes, I'm trying to find the here it is. They're actively working now with the state is their storm program. And this is going to be another functionality that's going to be on our website. And I believe the mayor has another idea that he mentioned a couple of meetings ago. So again, this can build to taste. So whatever we wanted to show public facing, we can add it to that. This is what GFT is currently maintaining with the state. It's called Storm. And it came in handy during the last snowstorm. And you can see these dots in this heat map. I'm sorry if I have chubby fingers today. Trying to get it. These green dots show the current locations of state vehicles, of SHA vehicles. So for our purposes, our DPW vehicles that are equipped with plows, you can see where they are in the town and if they plowed your street or not. And then there are some other color-coded items on this list, like this blue dot shows where the state-run cameras are operating. You could we'll also have where there are road closures here, not just in Forest Heights, but regionally, we can show that on our platform as well. So I just wanted to show you a much simpler version of what we already discussed with, or what I already discussed with GFT, who will be responsible for on the admin side, which was probably me for right now. Yeah, so that's what I want to share, Mr. Mayor. And I believe GFT is still online in case the council had further questions.
Thank you. The other additional component I was curious if they can put in is, I know some cities like College Park and New Carrollton use something called OpenGov, where they show, it's like the budget and financial data becomes graphical and visual, so you can see how you're performing on your finances. That's a component I'm curious if they can put in as well. Are there questions from council? Council President.
The example that you gave, Public Works in the snow, would it also Public Works in the spring, in the summer? I mean, where they are?
Yes, their GPS will be live constantly, but we can turn it off.
So that would feed into this dashboard?
Yes, it'll automatically feed, but we won't do that for the police for safety reasons.
Council President, you're asking about maintenance and trash pickups and all that stuff.
Yes, thanks.
It would be a public platform that even residents would have access to. It seems like it helps with accountability, so we can won't just be what we say. People will be able to see. Council Member Kennedy.
Since you mentioned that a couple times, there is still at least one open position. So if somebody knows a qualified person with an actual valid driver's license, they can always submit a resume. yes, to drive our trucks.
Councilmember McDonald.
I guess, so we're going to be under or utilizing this under the Maryland State Blanket Purchase Order. And so with that, we, Town of Forest Heights, would only be paying this 54,000.
Up to 54,000, and that would build us a pretty decent platform with everything I just showed you here and a lot of what they use as an example in their spreadsheet.
So in terms of the, I guess, the scheduling or the management of the project.
That's
is-
yet to be determined.
Okay, thank you.
Council President.
My greatest concern is that it is managed and continuously managed and not this new dashboard we get and then all of a sudden nobody knows where it is anymore.
So that's, yeah, so that's a personnel and staff management issue that we're gonna hammer out to make sure that it's sustainable. And we have a software license to this. So there's a software component that has to be renewed every year. So to your point, yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Kennedy, then.
So the initial startup looks like estimated up to 54,000. What is the estimated amount per year after that?
So that's not the startup. Based on our conversations and what we would like done, they're anticipating that they can do this for us for approximately 54,000.
Okay. So what would be the annual cost after that?
They estimated between $1,500 and $2,000 for the software license. Per year, yes. Between 1,500 and 2,000 to maintain the GIS software license. And Dave and Matt, if I'm saying anything wrong, just please correct me.
No, you're good.
That's the actual subscription that he was referring to earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Brunson.
Yeah, I saw that we have to, we have to sign a 3-year contract.
No, what that is referring to is that the treasurer and I should, for lack of a better term, budget for the software license. No quicker, no shorter than at least 3 years.
So you
Run this
budget for
program.
that $3,000? Are you budgeting for the 54,000 or 50,000?
No, this is to maintain the GIS software, which is estimated between $1,500 or $2,000 a year.
That's I mean, well, it sounds weird that you put that in a contract, for 3 years
That's
for
not a-
$3,000.
Talk about, is that the contract you're looking at or the resolution?
This is I guess this is no, it's the contract.
Oh, okay.
And my question is, I was looking at the contract and it said they'd do most of their work remotely, but most of the data gonna have to come from the Town of Forest Heights. So who's
Yeah.
gonna be getting and giving all this information
So
to them?
it wasn't hyperbole when he said it's as easy as drag and drop. The data that he has now came from our work system. It's just a spreadsheet. We sent it to him through email and I literally just plug it into the software.
So in other words, you'll be mostly doing all that.
Maybe.
But my point is, aren't you kind of overwhelmed already? And
I'm
every
very
time-
busy.
Right.
I mean,
So
Well, so let me expand. We have different departments, and our departments, our individual departments will contribute to the data that we collect. Police department, they'll send the traffic stops. DPW, they'll send what they find out on the roadway, as well as the portal that we currently have that citizens already report to when they report things down. So that's the information we're going to just forward to GFT until they train us how to do it ourselves.
Okay.
Councilmember McDonald.
About the, I guess, the date that the Maryland State Blanket Purchase Order ends, April 21st, 2028. What happens after that?
Well, I'm sure the state can renew it, but they're still actively with the state now. It would be completely up to the state.
It would be up to the state. So
But
if
we're contracting them. So once we piggyback off of the state's contract, we're on a separate contract and we can keep them as long as we need to or
Okay.
or not.
Councilmember Hines.
I don't know if I'm wording it. You said that the three entities that pretty much would be, it'd be Public Works, the police, and admin, right? Am I getting that right? I mean, I'm just,
Including, but not limited to, yes.
so would, Public Works, the director of that one, have you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be up to speed. He's gonna understand what his role is to,
Well, that's the plan. Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Council President.
Is it possible, or does this happen, like with WSSC, with all the work they're doing in town? Is it someone at WSSC can load into this, or you'll have the information to put it in as it relates to WSSC, any utility where there's an issue in the town?
So I'm sure the answer is both. I'll yield to Dave and Matt for that capability. I'm not sure. I believe they mentioned that we have the capabilities out there for us to cross-share information. But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll give them access to our portal. That's probably information that we want to put ourselves. Matt, you were going to say something about that?
Yeah, no, so we're working directly with WSSC. They have this software already available that they use. It's a matter of how do you, between you and WSSC, how you want to trade or exchange data. That's up to you, but the ability to do that and integrate with each other is there between these. They're using the same system essentially.
Thank you.
All right. If there's no further discussion, we are going to, do we have the support for bringing this back next meeting? Any input from council there? Mr. Jackson.
It's just the will is the timeline of the body, and whenever you want to get started on this project.
I mean, we've already approved it, right?
No.
It's
It's in the budget,
It
yeah.
is in the budget.
Yes, it's in the
Okay.
budget, yes.
So the next step is what?
To approve the resolution so we can sign the contract and get started.
Okay, so do we have any outstanding, I guess, concerns or issues that would prevent us from voting tonight? I'm just asking a question.
Well, for me,
Could you turn your mic on?
I just got this information. Just would have been good to have it during the work session so we can discuss it and look at it and then vote on it. I haven't had an opportunity to digest all this. So
Okay.
to me, I need.
I was just asking, I was just trying to figure out what the pulse was.
Councilmember Kennedy? Okay, so it doesn't sound like we have the votes tonight. I'm not hearing, so we'll bring it back in September. All right, and that'll give everyone plenty of time to read through. And also, if there's any questions between now and then, specifically, you can ask them. We can direct them to Mr. Jackson or even interface with Mr. Dave and the other gentleman. But it sounds like we're at a good place to move forward in a new way. And one of the things that at the Maryland Municipal League last year, or the fall conference the year before, they had the person who runs Maryland's data program present on GIS and how it's been able to help Maryland give more information out. But then also, it sounds like one thing we could mandate for ourselves internally to keep us using the platform and not let it linger is we can have it generate an annual report for us every year. That's one way to hold ourselves accountable so that the data that comes out automatically turns into something that we look at, we review, and we give to the community to evaluate how we've done and what progress we've made. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 10:09. We've done a lot this evening. Thank you for coming out, for staying, for your input. Again, we are going to recess, so no meetings in August, but we'll see you next, hopefully, at card night. Bless you. Friday, July 17th. And then we'll see you at Forest Heights Day at Forest Heights Elementary School on Saturday, August 15th.
I have one quick question.
Yes, council member.
When does the out-of-state tax date start? When does it start, Chief?
It's already started. It
It's already
started in October 2025.
Okay. Oh, October.
2025.
I know that, but I mean in terms of the notice going out to the residents, when does that?
Well, that's already started. So some residents should have been getting them from Virginia about registering their tags. So they have been sending out notices to people who have out-of-state tags that are not living in the state of Virginia already.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, the time is 10:10. This meeting is adjourned. See you Saturday, August 15th, Forest Heights Day. Good night.